Hi, I'm Annabella from Spa World and I'm here to introduce to you the Vortex Nitro. Have you heard of the Vortex Nitro or really keen to learn more about it? I'm going to be having a chat to our CEO Andrew Pullen, who'll be running through all of its main features and benefits. Andrew, what can you tell me about the base pan?
Now, in the Vortex Spa range and other spa ranges we do, such as Jacuzzi and Fisher, you'll see that the base is upturned. Many spas, particularly at the low end of the price bracket, have a flat sheet of plastic across the bottom of the spa. And the problem with that is that in heavy rain, if puddles build up around the spa, the water can get in to where all the electronics and pumps are, which is not a great thing. So at Vortex, they vacuum form a sheet of ABS acrylic. Now, ABS is the same material that car bumpers are made out of, so extremely tough and durable. They then back that with a fiberglass sprayed backing, which gives it extra strength. And as I say, it is upturned, meaning that this spa can literally sit in a couple of inches of water and that water is not going to get in under the bottom of the spa.
And Andrew, is there anything else that's special about the base pan? For example, insulation?
Yes, so the base is insulated. Now, as you can imagine, heat rises, and so the majority of heat loss in any spa is out through the top, which is why a good cover is so important. But a little heat does escape through the base, and so the base of the Vortex spas are insulated. One last thing, the pumps are actually mounted to the base using rubber blocks. We'll get onto that a little bit later, but it does cut the noise generation from the spa. Many spas have their pumps connected directly to, for example, a steel frame, and it can mean that you can hear the pump noise, whereas by mounting the pumps to the ABS base with a rubber block in between them, it means that it cuts the noise right back.
How important is the framework of the spa, Andrew?
The reason the framing is so important is that it has to help support the weight of up to 1.5 tons of water. Now, traditionally, the framework in spas has been made with timber. The problem with timber, unless it's properly treated, is that it can rot or create mildew or have termite or other insect damage, which can affect the structural integrity of the frame. So Vortex uses an injection molded plastic framing. It can't rot, it can't get affected by termites or other bugs, and it provides excellent support to the structure of the spa. So much so that Vortex actually put a lifetime warranty on the construction of the spa.
With this shell here, I understand that this is a really important component of the spa.
It is, Annabella. Probably the most important part of any spa's construction is the way the shell is manufactured. The reason being is that most other parts on the spa are replaceable. You know, if a pump goes, even a section of framing, not that it would go on a Vortex spa, it can be replaced. But the shell, if it was to delaminate or crack, then you basically throw the spa away. So Vortex exclusively uses American Aristech acrylic, which is recognized as being the very best on the market. But when you draw that acrylic, when it's heated up and sucked down into the mold, it gets very, very thin. In fact, it can get down to about 1 millimeter thick. So obviously not strong enough to hold the weight of the water in the spa. So it's important that the acrylic gets backed with fiberglass, and this is the case with all spas really. There's two ways of manufacturing a spa shell. One is to use an ABS backed acrylic, which some manufacturers do. The other, more common way, is to use fiberglass backing. But the problem with the fiberglass is that it doesn't like sticking to the back of the acrylic. And unless you deal with that problem, you can get what's called delamination over time, where the surface of the shell actually starts to lift or bubble away from the fiberglass backing. So Vortex uses a 4-layer shell construction process. The first layer, as we've discussed, is the acrylic. That really gives the spa its lovely colour and finish. They then spray a very special resin called vinyl ester resin onto the back of the acrylic. Now, vinyl ester resin is used in super yacht construction. It's a very, very high-end resin. And what it does is it actually chemically bonds itself into the back of the acrylic. And an analogy I like to use is that if you were to paint regular glass, you could scratch it off, right? Most people would recognize that. But if you etched the glass first and then painted it, then it's going to stick a lot better, and that's what the vinyl ester does. They then spray the third layer, which is a marine grade polyester resin with the chopped strand glass in it, and that gives it its torsional strength. The important thing about any fiberglassing process though is that it must be cured at the right temperature and humidity. If that's not done, once again, it can lead to delamination. So all Vortex Spas are put through what's called a curing oven, which is a massive oven where the hundreds of spas go through, and it is set to a particular temperature and humidity range that's perfect for curing the fiberglass. So the first 2 layers of fiberglass are cured in that way. And then Vortex adds a 4th layer, which they call a polyceramic resin, which is a mixture of resin and cement, actually. That then gets sprayed on as a last layer, and that's what gives the shell its rigidity or structural integrity. Because they use the 4-layer shell construction, Vortex Spas have one of the best shell warranties in the industry. It's a full 10-year warranty, and it's what's called non-pro rata, meaning that it doesn't reduce over time. Many shell warranties in the spa industry reduce over time, meaning that if your spa was to delaminate after, say, 5 years, you'd only get half the replacement cost back. Now, if you look at a lot of spas underneath, as we're doing, you will see that the seats that carry most of the weight actually have wooden props under them because they haven't used that 4th layer of fiberglass, and they need those wooden props to prop them up. It's generally a sign of a poorly produced spa if you see some way of propping up the shell using timber, or I've even seen PVC pipe used. Much better to use that 4-layer shell construction and make sure you're doing it right the first time.
And you've mentioned, Andrew, delamination quite a lot. What exactly is delamination? Because no one will want to be dealing with this, will they? No,
absolutely not. I mean, anybody that's familiar with rusting in old cars, they can see the paint bubbling away from the steelwork underneath, and you'll know that, you only have to sort of scratch the surface of it and the paint's going to peel off. That's quite literally what delamination is like within spas. Once you get the bubbling of the acrylic, then if you were to sit on it or scratch it away, it means that the surface of the shell comes away and then can start leaking water. So really it's a death knell to the spa if it starts to delaminate, and the shell or the whole spa would have to be replaced.
Okay, Andrew, so we've got a lot of hot chemically treated water passing through these pipes. So why is it so important that this pipe work is made of the highest materials?
You'll see 2 types of pipework under the spa, Annabella, in a Vortex spa. You've got this clear plastic tubing. That's where the air flows to the jets, and we'll talk about that a bit later. But all of the pipework that carries the hot chemically treated water, as you've described, goes through a type of plumbing called Duraflex. Now, all top-end spas on the market use a variation of this product. So there's a couple of advantages. Firstly, it's designed to have hot, chemically treated water in it at all times, so it won't go brittle. Many of the lower end spas on the market use the same clear plastic tubing for their water lines as well. It can go brittle, it cracks, and then it leaks. It's going to be a big problem, in your spa. So all Vortex uses the Duraflex plumbing. The other advantage of it is it's got a coil of rigid PVC that wraps around it. And what that means is that it can't kink. Now, you're probably familiar that if you leave your garden hose out in the sunlight and it heats up, it's very easy to get kinks and the hose stops working. Not something you want when that hose is supplying the jets in your spa. So by having that coil of rigid PVC within the Duraflex plumbing, it means that it doesn't kink, even with that hot water in it. It always keeps that same radius, and it means that you don't have jet pressure loss within the spa. The last point that I would make about the plumbing of the Vortex Spa is, can you see this blue adhesive in here? So that product is called Weld-On. It's a branded product, it's made in the USA, and it is the best PVC glue available on the market. Many other spa companies use some form of lower quality or lower priced glue, and once again it can create leaks over time. Whereas Vortex exclusively uses the blue weld-on. In fact, Vortex have a 5-year no leak warranty, which is one of the best plumbing warranties in the industry.
All right, Andrew, so I can see a lot of the equipment here under the spa has got SpaNet labelled on it. So tell me about SpaNet.
Yeah, so SpaNet Annabella is an Australian company. Vortex has been working with SpaNet for about 15 years. And over that time, they've grown to being a market leader in the spa equipment and pump industry. Now, if you're looking around for a spa, there's really 3 brands of equipment that you should be keeping your eye out for. One is SpaNet, very good. The second is Balboa, which is American, and the third is Gecko, which is Canadian. All 3 are very, very good. SpaNet has a number of key technologies that we'll talk about a little bit later on, which help to save the energy use that the spa uses and also makes the controlling of the spa very easy. But while we're under here, I'll touch on the pumps. Now, the SpaNet Smart Flow pumps are both extremely efficient in that they use less energy than most pumps. They're very quiet, not only because the quality of the pump and the bearings is very high, but also Vortex mount the pump on that rubber mount down there, and that cuts down on the noise and vibration. There are 2 types of pump under a Vortex spa or used in a Vortex spa. 3 of you include the air blower. The first pump is called a circulation pump, and in the SpaNet system that's programmable. So it's a smaller pump, it uses about 1/6 the energy of the large jet pumps, and it does all of the filtration and heating. So very efficient, but also silent. So when you're sitting in the spa with the jets off, staring at the stars, and you hear virtually no noise, which is a great thing. The second type of pump is the big jet pumps that we have back here. They're a very powerful pump. They really only come on when you press the jet button, when you want that great hydrotherapy that a Vortex is going to give you. Now, many spas on the market use the larger pump to do both the hydrotherapy, but also the heating and filtration, meaning you're spending more energy than you need to get the job done. So I definitely always recommend having a dedicated circulation pump for the filtration and heating and a dedicated jet pump to do the hydrotherapy performance. Lastly, tucked away in the back there is a SpaNet air blower. And for anybody that's used spas a bit, they'd be familiar with the concept of an air blower. Blows nice bubbles, the kids love it. On the Vortex spa, it has the added benefit of being connected to an aromatherapy system. So you can actually put aromatherapy canisters in the top of the spa, and it brings a fragrance through with that air, 13 different flavors or aromas. So that's another fantastic feature of the Vortex spa.
Keeping the heat in is key, so can you talk to me about the insulation in a Vortex spa?
So the way that the Vortex spas do it is that they insulate both the shell of the spa, as you'd expect, with 1 inch of high density insulation. You can see that's the black foam layer here. But unlike many spa companies, they also insulate the inside of the cabinet. So what that means is that the warm air that's created by the pumps running actually gets trapped between the inside of the cabinet and the outside of the spa shell. It's kind of like double glazing for your spa. The base of the spa is also insulated, and there's a special foam layer up under the lip of the spa that stops any heat escaping over the top of the frame. So what all that means is that it locks warm air around the spa and prevents heat loss through both the shell and the cabinet. Vortex also have an exceptional cover which covers the spa when not in use. It's a high density foam cover with a full length draft strip. All in all, it's a great system of insulation, and unlike fully foamed spas, everything remains accessible for maintenance should that be required.
Keeping the water clean and healthy is really important. So how do Vortex spas ensure this?
So Vortex has a system they call Purezone, which is a 3-stage water filtration and sanitization process. The first, and it's difficult to see from there, but in the back here is a UV sterilizer. Now the UV sterilizer technology is used in municipal bottling plants, so it's likely that the water that you drink out of a bottle, if you buy bottled water, has been sanitized with UV. It's also used in municipal or council swimming pool sanitization. And the way that UV works is it basically fries the bacteria and viruses in the water. It's very effective. It kills up to 99.9% of waterborne viruses. And Vortex is only one of 2 brands worldwide, Jacuzzi being the other one, that features UV sterilization in their water cleaning systems. The second element of the Purezone that I'll point out while we're down here is the ozone generator. Now, ozone is used on probably 90 to 95% of spa pools available. It's a very tried and tested technology. It is a clarifier in that it's great for keeping the water clear, but coupled with UV, it sort of supercharges the effect. So between the 2 of them, they're going to knock out the vast majority of the bugs in the water. Now, we still recommend some form of background sanitization, but you just use a lot less than you would on a spa that don't have those 2 features. So Annabella, we talked about what happens with the water sterilization once it gets under the spa, but the first step in the Purezone system is the filtration system. And Vortex spas, unlike most spas on the market, actually have 2 types of filters. They have the pleated filter that you'd see on most spas. This filters down to 20 microns, but then connected to the circulation pump or the filtration pump that we talked about, they have what's called a Purezone filter. Now this is very similar to what's used on the high-end jacuzzi spas in that it filters to 5 microns.
So Andrew, to put the micron sizes into perspective, how would, say, a single human hair fit into it?
So a human hair on average is 70 microns. So a traditional spa filter will filter to about 1/3 of a human hair width, whereas the Purezone filter is far finer still. A couple of other advantages with the Purezone filter. One of which is that they are disposable. And then when they become full, you throw them away and put another one in. Very inexpensive to replace. Similar technology is used in drinking water filters, the sort of thing that you might find in an underbench filter. The other nice feature of both styles of Vortex filter is that they have a cam lock fitting on the bottom. So for anybody that's used to unscrewing and screwing in spa filters, particularly when there's water in the spa, it can be very difficult. The threads can get cross-threaded and wreck the filters. The cam lock, you simply pop it in, click, and it's done. That easy. Now you'll see that there's this flappy gate on the front of the filter system. That's designed so that when the filter's off, it actually floats up and traps any floating debris inside the filter so it doesn't return to the spa. One last thing I'd like to point out about the Vortex filtration system is that the top cover of the filter is actually molded into the spa shell. In many spas, the covering of the filters is removable, whether it be plastic or fiberglass acrylic. That means that it can get dropped or broken if kids are clambering in and out. By molding the entire filter box into the spa shell, it makes it absolutely bulletproof. It can become a seat, or in the case of Vortex, it actually provides a nice place for a water cascade which runs down and into the spa.
Andrew, you mentioned before that with the SpaNet control system underneath that it's really energy efficient and easy to use. So how does it all work from the top?
Yes, so Annabella, it's a very easy to use system as you pointed out. There are single buttons to turn the jets on and off, the air blower on and off, the lighting on and off, up, down on the temperature, and a one-touch cleaning cycle, meaning that when you hop out of the spa, you simply hit the clean button and it runs the pumps for 20 minutes on high, along with the UV and ozone system. So the Purezone system runs for 20 minutes on high after you hop out, and that helps to clean up the spa's water after use. Now, in terms of energy efficiency, SpaNet has a proprietary software called Dynamic Thermal Tuning. And what that means is that it predicts or learns about your use of the spa and minimises heating time. This smart meter ready programmable timer minimises electricity costs by taking advantage of off-peak power tariffs and forcing filtration or heating to occur during times when power cost is at its lowest rate. This timer also works well with solar panels or off-grid homes. So it keeps the spa hot and ready to use at all times, of course, but it reduces the amount of electricity necessary to do that just through the use of that software on their system. The other nice thing about the SpaNet system is they have a variable output heater. Now what that means is that on most spas, as soon as you turn that big jet pump on, the heater turns off. Now, once again, SpaNet, very smart system. When you turn that big jet pump on a Vortex Spa, it doesn't shut the heater off. It immediately calculates the amount of electricity it can still draw down the cable, and so it turns the heater down. Now, practically speaking, what that means is the spa will not cool down as quickly when you're using it as it would in a spa where the heater turns off. One last point I'd like to touch on is that the SpaNet heater has a special ink alloy element in a stainless steel tube, giving a much longer heater life. And we give a 5-year warranty on that heater on every Vortex Spa. So all in all, it's a great control system and great set of equipment.
Andrew, I can see a lot of dials around the edge of the spa here, so can you talk me through what they do?
Absolutely. Let's start over here and we'll work our way around. So this first item here is actually a backlit drink holder. It's got a rubberized top so your drink doesn't slip off. We'll talk about lighting in a little while, but that lights up at night. These dials here control the amount of air that comes through with the water when the jets are running. So that controls the intensity of the massage, and you can adjust each individual seat individually. This big lever here controls where the water goes. So this spa that we're looking at is a single pump model, and by using this lever you can direct whether you have 100% of the water flow through one half of the spa, or 100% through the other half of the spa, or half and half. And even on half and half, because of that big SpaNet jet pump, you're still getting great pressure through all of the jets.
Andrew, I noticed that these jets here are higher than the rest above the spa water, so can you explain why that is?
These are called Laminar Jets. They're a water feature, and the Nitro has 2 pairs.
Right, and what exactly is a Laminar jet?
A lot of spas on the market have water features above the waterline, but they're simply spa jets that just spout water. The Vortex Laminar Jets are unique to Vortex, and there's a special mechanism and filtration system in the back of them which strips out the oxygen out of the water flow, and it gives a very pure flow. They also are backlit. In fact, this little hoodaki here has a light inserted into it, and so that water flow at night lights up like liquid neon. It's absolutely wonderful. And then if you sit under the Laminar Jets, you can get that water cascading down over your neck and shoulders, which on a cold night is just absolutely wonderful.
Andrew, I believe that this is the Aromatherapy controller, is that right?
That's right, yes, you can control the amount of aroma that comes through with the air blower, as we discussed earlier, but it's also where you access the Aromatherapy canister. So you can just lift it out, this pops out, you can put another one in. This particular one is citrus sorbet. Can you smell that?
Oh, delicious, I can indeed.
Can you imagine that coming through as you're reclining in your spa, and there's fragrances like lavender and pina colada and lots of different fragrances.
Andrew, what do we have over here?
This is another favourite here as well. This is the ice bucket. So it's self-draining, you can fill it up with ice, put a bottle of your favourite beverage in there, keeps it cold whilst you're in the spa.
Andrew, tell me about the water cascade over the filter box.
So when the Laminar Jets are running, you've also got this lovely lazy river that runs and trickles down the shell into the spa water. It's once again, it's backlit, so it lights up at night. Beautiful, tinkling water sound, just very, very relaxing as you're lying back in the spa and looking at the stars. The Avante spa range by Vortex just lights up and glows at night. We've already talked about the backlit drink holders having the lights in them. All of these topside controls that we've already discussed light up. The Laminar Jets that we've discussed, they're backlit, as is the water cascade over the filter box. But what's really special about the Vortex Spas is that even all the jets light up. So this particular spa that we're in is 55 jets in total, and I've pulled one out and you can see that they're clear. And in the back of them, there is a light which glows through the front. So at night when you're in the spa, light everywhere. It's absolutely fantastic. Furthermore, there's multiple colors, and you can even set how that transition happens. So you can set whether they fade between colors or step between colors. There's even a party mode. And lastly, Annabella, we have the waterline illumination, which are these lights around the top of the spa, and they're designed to throw colored light across the surface of the spa. At night, lighting it up looks absolutely beautiful.
Andrew, seeing as you're holding one of the jets, can you talk us through Vortex's famous Hydroflow Hydrotherapy system?
Absolutely, Annabella. So really, for most people, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's great that the Vortex spas are very well made, very well insulated, so running costs are very, very low. They're one of the easiest spas in the world to operate and maintain. But fundamentally, what it comes back to is great hydrotherapy. And Vortex has pioneered what they call the Hydroflow Hydrotherapy system. And it's really based around the jets in the spa. So yes, they're extremely well plumbed, and there's a lot we could go into there, but really at the face of it is the jets. Now, believe it or not, there's 5 special things about a Hydroflow jet. So the first of those you can see is that it uses a high-grade stainless steel face. So you can see within this seat here that even when the spa is not in use, it looks absolutely fantastic, and those jet faces are guaranteed not to rust. Secondly, the jets are made with 100% virgin plastic. There's no what's called regrind, which is an inferior type of plastic, and that's why Vortex can give a 5-year warranty on their jets. Thirdly, and probably most importantly, is difficult to see, but instead of running on ball bearings, as most spa jets do, which can become gritted up with sand or other debris, the Vortex jets have a stainless steel axle or spindle that runs right through the middle, and means that those jets are guaranteed to spin, because that's what gives that nice massaging action. They're guaranteed to spin for a full 5 years. So many people watching this video may have owned spas before, and their spinning jets spin for a few months and then they stop spinning. The Hydroflow jets guaranteed to keep spinning for 5 years. The next nice feature of the jets is that instead of having a little clip to take them in and out, you just insert them and screw them in. So there's nothing that can break, no little tabs that can break off. And that's important because the last feature of the jets is that they're actually interchangeable. So you can take out a spinning jet and remove a directional jet and swap them over, meaning that you can literally tailor a massage to suit yourself. Just like that.
Andrew, what is this jet over here used for?
So this, Annabella, is the Volcano Jet, which is a very versatile jet. So first of all, you can actually set the spa up, so you've got almost all of the pressure from the pump coming through this one jet. Hence the name Volcano Jet, because when it's running on full bore, the water is this far above the surface of the water. Now, because of its positioning being almost vertical, as I say, it's very versatile. So bearing in mind that when you're in the spa, you're about 20% of your normal body weight, you can actually move around and you can hover over it. So it's great for working the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back even. If you've got some pain in the lower back, you can even flip around and have it working the front of the shoulders and the pecs if you're sore from the gym or whatever. So very versatile jet, and only available in a few of the Vortex spas, but it's one of my favourite jets.
Andrew, I noticed that the seats are quite different in terms of depth and jet layout.
Absolutely. So every good hydrotherapy spa should offer a lot of variety of both depth of seating, because everybody's different heights, and the variety of massage that it gives. So you'll see that each seat in this Nitro Spa has different jet types and different jet positions. So if we start with the primary lounger, so you've got rotational jets that we've discussed in the top. You've got directional jets, which are designed to hit the lumbar region. You've then got some lovely air jets underneath the legs to do the hamstrings. And then down the bottom, you've got a pair of foot jets to be able to give you a nice foot massage. And if I hop over here into this seat, the first thing that I'm going to feel is that the jets are nicely recessed, so I'm not being poked in the back by the hard jets. Twin armrests, so it makes it very, very comfortable. I've got my backlit drink holder up here in perfect position. And I'm going to shuffle around, and it's just a beautiful, relaxing, even without hot water in it, beautiful, relaxing experience. I've got my cushioned headrest behind me, so I can lie back. Can you imagine lying back and looking at the stars or your view, which is lovely. We then have two slightly shallower seats, so ideal for maybe younger children, and they've got their own jets in the back. And as we discussed before, you've got the lovely Laminar Jets in both of those seats where you can enjoy that water cascading down over your shoulders. And then we've got what's often called the best seat in the house, which is the neck and shoulder therapy seat. So not only do we have an array of shiatsu massage jets in the back of the seat, Annabella, but as you can see, we've got 4 jets embedded up in the neck therapy collar, which is designed to come down and massage the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders, because a lot of people carry a lot of stress and tension in their neck and shoulders, and that gives a lovely massage. Quite rare in spas, not many brands offer that. It's difficult to do the reverse molding that's required to have that neck therapy collar, but Vortex has pulled it off. And opposite, you can see down here, you've got the 2 foot jets, so that when you're getting a neck and shoulder massage, you can have your feet being massaged as well. We then have another shallower seat that you're sitting in, and then the second lounger in the spa, you'll notice that there is a different jet layout, so you're going to get a different type of massage in that lounger. And foot jets once again, and that is a shallower lounger. So whilst this is a little deeper, that's a little shallower. You might like to jump in there yourself and try it on for size. And as you can see, if you lie back, your headrest is positioned nicely for you, okay? And so even though we're quite different in height, you can see that you can find a seat in a Vortex Spa that's perfectly suited to you.
Great, Andrew. So it sounds like there's a lot of great features that come with each seat. For someone like myself who is vertically challenged, what can I use to ensure that I get the most out of each seat here?
Well, you'll be happy to know that there are many products on the market that are what's called spa cushions that can elevate you up.
Andrew, I noticed the seat here would be ideal for young children, but does it also have other uses as well?
Yeah, so this is what we call the toddler or cool down seat. The waterline is about where the waterline lighting is. So, a lot of people find that once they're sitting down in a spa for more than 15, 20 minutes, they want to sort of elevate themselves up and get sort of half in, half out of the water. Or maybe for a family that has a very young child that's able to sit up, but even these 2 seats are too deep for them, then they can pop the toddler or the adult, if they want to cool down, up into here. Very nice reclining. There's actually enough room for a couple of toddlers if they're happy to sit together. But just, a really nice seat to chill out in when your legs are still in the water, but your body's elevated outside of the water.
Well, hey, thanks so much, Andrew, for running through all the features and benefits of the Vortex Nitro Avanté today. If you want to learn more about the other models in the Vortex range, you can head to the Vortex website as well as our Spa World's website.